Hi, my name's Amanda. I am a coach and a trance channel, and welcome back to my series where I channel my higher self. And this week she has a really interesting message for all of you. She wants to come forward to talk about the notion that what we all want is peace, and where we're headed is this 4D, 5D reality where we live in a much more peaceful existence on this planet. And I think it's very interesting because if peace is really what we all want, then that's what we would be feeling. And that's what we would have in terms of our reality. And the fact that we don't have that means that there might be something a little bit deeper, a little bit more sinister that we all want more than peace. And it takes on the form of wanting peace on the outside, but perhaps there's something deeper going on there. It's a really fascinating take, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say about it. If this is the type of content that you like, stick around, click subscribe, tell your friends, because I've got so many more messages for my higher self and the ascended masters, gods and goddesses for you coming up soon.
Hello, my children. It is me once more. And I am coming forward today to share with you the notion that peace on this planet is what you want above all else. And peace inside of yourselves is what you're ultimately searching for. The notion that peace above all else is what you desire to feel and see and experience around you is understandable. And that is not something that I'm disregarding as true, because you do, on some level, desire to feel at peace and to witness peace and to be inside of a peaceful existence on this planet. And that is what you all want on some level, because you have never fully been able to experience it. And so that is not surprising that that is something that you desire for yourselves. However, I would like to bring forward the notion that this is not entirely what you want at the root of it all, because there is so much more that you are desiring than this. Above all else, what you desire more than peace is to feel loved and valued inside of who you believe yourself to be. And there is a desire of you to not have to sacrifice what you want to get peace in return. The notion that you would need to give up feeling valued, feeling fully and truly accepted in order to find a semblance of peace is not a return on investment that you feel is something that is worth giving up the love that you want underneath it all. Because if it is required of you to compromise feeling less love in order to feel at peace, you sense that the peace that you would be experiencing will not feel 100% accurate. Because giving something up in order to satisfy the whims of those around you doesn't feel fair. And there is a degree of desiring fairness inside of this exchange that you do not see as possible with a compromise in this capacity. There is the notion that in order to feel at peace inside of you, you cannot fully have the love that you desire unless the love that you desire is fully allowed. And then in that case, it is not you that must compromise, but it is the others who must relinquish their desire for what they truly want so that you may have it instead. And that it is not possible for each person on this planet to get their way, because ultimately that is what you want most. To feel loved, to feel peace inside of feeling loved, regardless of what the outcome may be elsewhere. And on the contrary, I would like to put forward the notion that in order to feel loved, it is not required of you to give anything up other than your willingness to let it in. But there's fear in doing that. There's fear that if you fully let love in, you will not feel satisfied inside of it. And therefore, the peace that you're desiring on the surface will never be fully accessed. And that the same contradiction exists the world over, where there is always someone that is going to need to compromise and sacrifice what they desire most in order for peace to be realized inside of the greater good. And so you see, there is a dilemma here inside of each one of you where you do not fully feel that it is possible to both feel loved for who you are and also at peace inside of knowing that you do not have to sacrifice anything in order to achieve it. And what I would like to point out to all of you is that it is not the love that you desire to feel that is creating this dilemma, but is the misunderstanding that the love that you desire to feel cannot be fully let in unless you feel that it has been properly deserved. And what is required of feeling loved in order for it to be fully deserved, might I ask? A lack of peace. Because until it is deserved, you cannot feel at peace inside of you. And when you cannot feel at peace inside of you, you seek it out in many different ways, depending on who it is that's watching this. And do you see, when you zoom out from your small perspective of your individual experience, that on a global scale, if each and every single one of you are seeking to feel at peace through earning their ability to feel love, that you will always be in conflict with one another because you will never be willing to sacrifice what you desire most to please the next person in line. And therefore, you are always grappling with one another, feeling that you must sacrifice something that you desire most in order to create the peace that then you feel is slightly lacking inside of you when you give it up in order for someone else to be able to access it for themselves. And there is this tug of war of give and take where you must give a little to get a little, but never feeling fully satisfied inside of that dynamic. What I would love to offer you inside of this conversation that we are having right now is the notion that you must give something up in order to feel satisfied inside of you. And that what you would be giving up is ultimately what is creating this experience of not feeling worthy of what you want, because what you are giving up is love. And what I'm asking you to do is recognize where you are still holding it at bay from you and creating a semblance of unease inside of you where you constantly search to feel something different. It is only once you can look in the mirror and say, I am satisfied with who I am, that you will feel the unconditional love already available to you and the peace inside of that experience that is already there, but that you have been holding at bay because you do not feel like it has been earned yet. And when you can look in the mirror and say, I am enough, and feel the love and peace inside of you that you have been denying, it will not matter to you the unease in those around you, because you will simply recognize inside of them what you have just recognized inside of you, which is that you have been denying it all along. And you will simply sit back and witness them as they grapple with the same contradiction that you have finally solved for yourself, and know that it is only a matter of time before they can realize the same. And that the peace that you all desire to feel is accessible whenever you want it to be. You just have to let love in. And nothing about you needs to change other than the notion that you must in order to be worthy or valid inside of it. Do you see how the war taking place inside of you is being mirrored by the conflict ongoing in the world outside? It is simply all of you searching to find a semblance of love, but feeling that you cannot access it unless you give something up in return. And the notion that you have to give something up creates resentment and anger inside of you that lingers beneath the surface and creates the divide between what you want to feel and the belief system that it will never be accessible for you. And rather than the notion that you must give something up in order to create a semblance of peace with someone that is not capable of the give and take required inside of that dynamic, you must simply resign yourself to the fact that nothing needs to be given up other than the belief system that a sacrifice is required of you to achieve the love that's already available for you inside and outside of your reality. Peace is achieved in the acceptance inside of what is. And the acceptance inside of what is ultimately what is going to be the answer to everything you desire most. Because once you can accept what is, and you can accept yourself inside of this reality, there is nothing left to take away from the feeling at peace that comes along with that. And when you can live inside of a reality where you are always at peace with whatever comes to you, tell me the limitation that exists inside of that reality. There is none. Because acceptance of all things eliminates limitation completely. Because limitation is a resistance to love and shuts down your ability of creation. The message I would like to leave for all of you today is to look inside of the life that you have created for yourself and ask yourself, how am I holding at bay the love I desire to feel for myself? And how can I let love in where I have been denying it before and feel at peace knowing that it is safe for me to do so? And that when I witness another inside of that dynamic, resisting the love that's available for them, knowing that that is perfectly okay, that there's nothing that you must do to change that for them other than show them love where they are not yet ready to embrace it fully for themselves. Thank you so much for listening. I love you all and send you peace where you may not be ready to fully embrace it yet.